Hi guys, welcome to this one. In this video, I'm going to go through one tool that you can use to find journals where you can publish your research without paying article processing fees. And these will be open access journals. So maybe for some of you who might not be sure about what open access journals are. So basically, these are journals that when they're publishing your research, they publish it such that it's freely available to anybody who can access the journal link without having them needing to pay. So that's open access. Maybe just to show you what I'm talking about, I'll show you one example where you can actually encounter a paywall when you want to access a journal article. Let me just share my screen. Right, okay. So I'm going to share with you this one. This is the Journal of Occupational Science. And by the way, the information that I'm going to be sharing here is applicable in any field, in any subject, but I'm just going to be using examples that are linked to occupational therapy and occupational science because I'm an occupational therapist and I'm an occupational scientist. And I'm aiming to encourage occupational therapists to publish their research, whether you are a student, whether you are an academic, whether you are a practitioner. It's important that we get our research published out there. So I'll just show you one example. What happens if an article is not open access? So this is the Journal of Occupational Science. There's an article that I recently came across, and it's an article that is on occupational justice, but occupational justice in relation to other species, for example, in relation to animals. Okay, so I found that article interesting. So I just want to show you how it works if a paper is not available on open access. So I'm going to just type animal there and I'm going to search. So here are my search results, and the paper that I want to look at is the one that is at the very top. It says Occupational Injustice Across Species by Taylor Stillman. So if I click on the article, you will be able to see that there's an abstract here. And one thing I like about the Journal of Occupational Science is that, I mean, it publishes in 2 languages, which is really good. So the abstract is freely available, as you can see. So let's say I'm interested in this content after reading the abstract and I want to access the full paper. So if I go here where it says full article, if I click on there, you'll see what happens. I'll then be taken to a paywall where I need to pay in order to see the full article. So if you're affiliated to a university, many universities, they actually have arrangements with the publishers such that you can also be able to access the paper through your institution. Then you won't need to pay as the reader. If that is not possible, then it means if you want to access the article, you will then have to pay. So this is what happens when articles are not open access. There is a paywall. There is that restriction that in order for you to read the full article, you need to pay. But trust me, the Journal of Occupational Science has got so many articles that are open access. For example, if I can show you, I'm not sure if you can see that clearly. Let me just say more. So if you look at articles that have got that unlocked key, those articles will be available open access, like full text. Okay, so I hope you've got the idea about the difference between just the traditional publication and open access publishing. So I'm going then to move on to show you, I'll stop sharing. I'm going to move on to show you one tool that you can actually use to identify open access journals that also don't charge you article processing charges. This is because the traditional way of publishing is that When an article has been submitted to a journal and it has been accepted for publication, what will then happen is that you as the author will be required to pay article processing charges. And many times these article processing charges are huge amounts. So some institutions, if they've got an arrangement with the publisher, they allow their staff members, or in case of universities, they allow their students to actually publish without paying fees because the institution will be covering those fees for the article to be published. But then sometimes you realize that institutions might not be having any arrangement in place. And for you as an author to actually publish, it's actually costly to do that. So some journals, what they do is that they can publish your article without you paying, but then what it means is that the article will be having a paywall. The reader will then need to pay for that article in order to access them. But I'm looking at open access, where the reader can access the article freely. You as the author, you are also not expected to pay. Right, let me just share my screen. Okay, so this is the tool that I would like to share with you. It's called the Directory of Open Access Journals. So this directory allows you to look for journals that are open access, which you can publish in. So there are so many journals that you can actually find in this directory. And to find this, that's the address there at the top. That's doaj.org. That's the directory of open access journals. So what you then need to do is you will then need to type the area or the field that you are looking to publish in. So in this situation, I'm going to give you an example of occupational therapy. So I'll just type occupational therapy there. And then it says here, you can actually search by fields. You can search by title, by ISS number. You can also search by subject or publisher, but I'm not going to select any of those filters. And I encourage you to just keep your search broad so that you can be able to capture as many relevant journals as possible. Then you can then screen them to identify a more appropriate one. So I would leave that all the fields like that. One thing I like about this directory is that it actually searches for journals from about 80 languages, 134 countries, and so many journals, more than 20,608 journals as of today. Right, so after having put the title or the area that I want to publish in, I'll then click search. And then the search has yielded 17 index journals. So if I scroll down, you will see that there are actually 2 pages. I'll just try and bring everything on one page. Okay. Right. So it's showing me that there are 17 journals where I could potentially publish my research in occupational therapy. Okay. So what this directory does is it actually shows you the country, and it also shows you the languages. And then if you look on the right side, it actually tells you when this information was last updated. It also gives you an indication of whether there are charges or no charges. So for this first one, there are no charges to publish in this journal, and it's available open access. If I scroll, there is the Journal of Rehabilitation from Pakistan. It publishes in English, but as you can see, it has got APCs, article processing fees. So if you keep scrolling, you will see different journals. Open Journal of Occupational Therapy, it actually charges $300 as of the present time in 2024. So there are many journals. But then if you are interested in identifying those that don't require you as the author to pay article processing charges, you will go to the filter on my left, which says without fees. So if I click without fees, you can see now there are 17. If I click without fees, it has eliminated now the ones that have got fees. It is it's remaining with 13 journals that don't charge any article processing fees. And within these journals, there's potential to publish any research that is linked to occupational therapy. So what you can also do, maybe you've done a research on stroke or rehabilitation in general or mental health in general. Those are sort of the terms that you can actually type here, where I typed occupational therapy, and then you search to see what comes up. Okay. So all these 13, they don't require any charges. As you can see on the right side, it's no charges, no charges, no charges. All of them, they don't charge any article processing fees. So what you can then do is that you can then, I'll just use this example of the Irish Journal of Occupational Therapy. You can then click on the link to the journal information. It takes you to this page where it says there are no publication fees or article processing charges to publish in this journal, which is what we want. You can also have a look. All these links are actually clickable links that you can click on and get the information. So it gives you the aims and scope of the journal, and that's a good thing. I encourage you to check that so that you are sure that your paper or your research is aligning with the aims and scope of the journal. Otherwise, they wouldn't accept it. And then it also gives you the average turnaround times from the time of submission to time of publication. So this one does 24 weeks, sorry. So you can then make your decisions based on that. Some might be 18 weeks or 16 weeks. Some might be 30 weeks or more than that. So you can also use that information to make your decision in terms of which journal to use. If you look around, there's more information on this page, as well as the keywords that have been linked to what you're searching. Okay, so this is what you can also do to find journals that are open access and journals that do not charge you any article processing fees. Okay, this is just one example. If you know of other tools that researchers can use to publish open access without article processing charges, please feel free to drop them in the comment section so that we get more information and share the information. So thank you very much. I hope you will find this tool helpful as you search for journals where you can actually publish your research. Thank you very much.